empowerment of women on our sets now, beyond just being the pretty young thing, dolled up and being objectified. People are writing for powerful women characters. I truly believe he's a maverick. I think, you can't lose greatness. He's great. You just have a bad patch of form. I don't have tolerance for these, guardians of morality that are coming out and saying, this is what cinema should show and what shouldn't.
Right.
That's propaganda cinema, man. Allow people freedom of creative expression.
Hi Vivek, welcome to the Quint, and thank you so much for making the time to talk to me.
Thank you, Swati, an absolute pleasure.
You have been a part of the industry for a long time, 21 years and counting. When you work with directors of today and in comparison to when you started off, what's the difference you see in the two directors?
What's different is when we started our careers, I've also been on a set where you're like, sitting in shock because here you are, method actor, prepping for a role, putting in the effort, and then suddenly somebody will come in and say, oh yeah, that scene that just changed overnight. Yeah, we've discarded that. And so where's the new scene? Oh, it's being written as we speak. It'll be ready by lunch. We've seen the sycophancy, we've seen the unprofessionalism.
But do you see or do you feel like the industry has evolved in ways that you really kind of appreciate it? Like you feel, this is great, what's happening right now in the industry,
for sure.
Whether it's on-set representation when it comes to women.
I think the empowerment of women on our sets now, beyond just being the pretty young thing, dolled up and being objectified, people are writing for powerful women characters, and I think OTT has had a massive contribution to that. What's also happened in our industry is the democratization of content. I've joined the industry at a time where, you would have to sit down as a creative person and somebody would sit across the table with you and say, problem kya hai na bhai, ye jo CP Berar ki territory hai na, isme ye nahi chalenga. So you're like, what, excuse me? The audience was so fragmented. It wasn't even like how, you have MarTech companies doing your TG, SEC-A, SEC-B. It wasn't even like that. It was geographical. It was like, oh, Nizam territory mein ye chalega, and CP Berar mein ye chahiye. Bengal side mein we need this, or we need an item song right here. It used to be like ingredients that had to be somehow squished in within the belief of a film. And then, of course, there were people like Ram Gopal Varma who came out there and smashed it all by making a Satya and a company and stuff like that. I remember when I was out promoting Company, my very first film, and they sent me to a theater in UP. And since Company was shot in such a noir way, right, it was dark, I remember sitting quietly at the back of the theater, peeking in from the back to see audience reactions. And I remember people in the first 15 minutes shouting, "Hey, batti chalu kar, light badao." Because they thought there's something wrong with the projection room because it was so dark. The whole film was so dark. But I think 15 minutes into the film, they kind of got the vibe. And they were like, oh, okay, this is interesting. This is cool.
Yeah. I think RGV is one of the few people from the industry who really changed things for us.
I truly believe he's a maverick. I think, you can't lose greatness. He's great. You just have a bad patch of form. Sachin Tendulkar went through a bad patch of form. Virat Kohli went through a bad patch of form. But they're still legendary players. So to me, RGV is and always will be a legend.
I think we all have a bad patch in our careers, personally, professionally, in every way. How does Vivek Oberoi maybe get himself out if there is ever a bad patch?
With age comes maturity. With maturity comes wisdom. You need to know what you can control and what you can't.
Sure.
You need to be able to face that. Otherwise, you'd just be frustrated. The other thing is, I remember when I first met my wife in our very first conversation, and she asked me, funnily enough, she asked me, so tell me about you, who are you? It was an existential question that very vainly I kind of said to her, well, I'm Vivek Oberoi, I'm an actor. And she's like, no, that's just what you do, not who you are. And since 2010, when I met her, I live by that. That's just what I do, not who I am. Who I am is what I contribute to my country, to my society, to art, to creativity. I'm defined by so many more things. Those are the things that make you who you are, not just, a rank in a rat race.
Absolutely. It's never the job that defines who you are.
It's never the rank position in a rat race. So today I'm one, tomorrow I'm two.
Vivek, when you do agree to be a part of a project, whether it's a series or a film, right? All actors, I would like to believe, have some sort of a box that they'd like to tick, like this is what I'd like to do. But as an actor, say you were offered a role that had a great role where you could really showcase all the talent that you have in you, but you didn't necessarily agree with the messaging of the film. Would you as an actor kind of be a part of a film like that?
You know, you have to define for yourself a division between, like I said earlier, who you are and what you do.
Right.
Who you are as a professional.
Sure.
Say you're doing an interview with me, Swati, and your editor says, Swati, I need you to ask this question. Personally, maybe you feel it's sensationalist. Personally, and I'm sure you're smiling, so I know you've been through this yourself. Maybe you don't like that. Yeah. And there's so many times where senior journalists have come and told me, it's my job, I'm so sorry I had to ask that question. Sometimes they bamboozle you with it also when you're not expecting it, because you have a warmth between you. But I've always understood, if cinema truly had the power to influence to the degree that people claim it does, then when Ramayana came out, there used to be curfews. Why isn't everybody following the principles of Bhagwan Shri Ram? Why isn't everybody trying to live like Maryada Purushottam? Cinema is cinema. It's part entertainment, it's part value add, it's part educational, but just part. So if a messaging of a film is unique, if it's different, if it's disruptive, if it's not something that people accept today, it doesn't mean it won't be the face of society tomorrow. What you're wearing today, the way you're dressed today, if it was the 1940s, people would say this is bad messaging. But today you look at it as a liberated, strong, independent woman.
Sure.
So it's the stage at which society is and what they're willing to accept or not. And I think morality is a framework that's constantly evolving. A single mother today would be absolutely respected and acceptable, but a single mother 30 years ago would be like horrific. It would be so difficult to be a single mother 30 years ago. So I think that I don't like to judge, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And I don't have tolerance for these, guardians of morality that are coming out and saying, this is what cinema should show and what shouldn't.
Right.
That's propaganda cinema, man. Allow people freedom of creative expression, and that's the sign of a true great democracy, whether you like it or don't, agree with it or don't. It needs to be like any other art. It needs to provoke questions, debate.
Yeah.
And that's a healthy thing. I'll take you through a personal experience really quickly. 2002 Company releases. It's a great debut for me. I'm blessed with a bunch of recognition, awards. I'm flying high. And I get a call from a Cancer Patients Aid Association, wonderful organization, call me and they're upset. They've just put out an article that says that, Vivek Oberoi's portrayal in Company has influenced a lot of young people to start smoking and to smoke bidis the way he has, and this will lead to so many cancers and stuff like that. Now, did I stop smoking on screen after that? No. But what did I do? My call to action was I picked up the phone to them. I said, I saw your article in the Times of India. I'd like to meet you. I invited them for a cup of chai. They explained the data to me, what they thought was the data. I said, all right, in my personal life, I'm not a smoker. If you believe that I can have influence negatively, then I believe I can have influence positively. Let's do a relationship where I'll be your brand ambassador absolutely gratis, and let's do the largest anti-tobacco campaign that we've ever had in India.
Nice.
And we achieved that. It was the most successful, widest reaching anti-tobacco campaign that was recognized by the World Health Organization. And then 2 years later, the WHO asked me to be their anti-tobacco ambassador in India. And I still continue to be there.
Vivek, being part of a film or a series that has Rohit Shetty, helming the project, how is that set different from any other set that you've been on?
I think I've never seen, knock on wood, I've never seen a team bond so well. It sounds a little cliche when you say, oh, the team was so good. It felt like a family on the set. Yeah. But these guys are actually family. When he says team, he actually values it. He will actually call and has every assistant down the pecking order has access to Rohit to come in and say, I think we made a mistake here, or this is a problem. To build that kind of openness in a forum is not easy, especially in an ego-driven industry. Yes. Our creative people are a little crazy. They're like, don't mess up my vision. Don't speak in my ear. But to have that in such a huge scale, to still have that open forum within the discipline was something that was spectacular.
Thank you so much for talking to me, Vivek, and good luck for the show.
Thank you, Swati.